During a snowy morning in Manhattan, an image never seen before. And under the high temperatures of Rio de Janeiro, the awe-inspiring image repeats itself. Gigantic lines, two multitudes in search for the same book, Nothing to Lose. The best-selling book breaks two more sale records in Rio de Janeiro and in New York. We are here in Soho, originally an industrial area of Manhattan, now transformed into a beautiful neighborhood, center of New York's culture and art. Well, this neighborhood today stopped to observe a quite rare scene in the city. The release here in New York was delayed 1 week because of a strong snowstorm that affected the city. Now it begins to snow again, but this is not a problem. Take a look. People bundled up, some brought blankets, they're shivering a little, but no one wants to leave this line. And now the traffic stops here at this street, because at each moment, more and more buses bring those who are coming from outside of the island of Manhattan. And look, many are bringing more than one book, like Cindy.
Oh, one for me and one for my friend.
The climate improves and the line grows. For the time being, the line ends here, very close to the corner of Mulberry and Hester Street. But from here, we cannot even see the bookstore that is many blocks ahead of us. And as you can see, people have not stopped arriving, and the line continues. Let's follow it. This is the third street I'm crossing, and look at this. There's quite an overcrowding of readers here. As I attempt to reach the entrance of the bookstore, all these people are heading to join the end of the line. Let's keep on going because the bookstore is still far ahead of us.
Hello, guys.
Now I'm about to arrive. We will just make a turn at this corner. I walked 5 blocks to the entrance of the bookstore. Those who wanted to secure a place at the beginning of this line had to arrive in the middle of the night. The first readers arrived at the bookstore a little after midnight, a group of youths in search for the experiences of faith and of overcoming obstacles shared by Bishop Macedo.
Rain, snow.
Cold, rain? That does not exist for us, answered Jefferson.
A little bit of coffee is
With a little bit of coffee, we spend the night here, said Anthony.
making sure.
This is an extraordinary event, and reading Nothing to Lose can change many lives, affirms Fabiola.
Such a great book.
When the day broke, this area of New York was already crowded and livelier than ever. The McNally Jackson bookstore is well known for organizing competitive book signings in Manhattan. The latest one was with Arnold Schwarzenegger. The biography of the movie star and ex-governor of California sold only 200 copies during its signing, while Nothing to Lose sold 72,196 copies in its release. A disputed mark in the American publishing market, where 5% of the books sell more than 5,000 copies during a single release. The owner of the bookstore said she has never seen so many people at the door, neither with rock stars nor movie stars, says Sarah.
This is more than you would get for a rock star. This is more than you would get for a movie star.
The book drew the attention of the greatest mediums of communication in the U.S. The co-author of the book and vice president of journalism of Record, Brazilian television network, Douglas Tavolaro, was received by the newspaper The New York Times, by the headquarters of CNN, and also by the greatest television network in the U.S., ABC. He was received by Dave Davis, president of the group in New York. Nothing to Lose was also received by the United Nations through Malak Shabazz. She is commissioned by the United Nations in the fight against prejudice. She is daughter of Malcolm X, an American activist assassinated during the 60s for defending tolerance and equality. The biography of Malcolm X is considered one of the most important books of the 20th century, and Malak compares the biography of her father to the book of Bishop Macedo. She says she feels honored in receiving the book because it talks about a person that with his convictions changed many lives throughout the world, as did her father.
And I'm honored to receive this book.
The repercussion in the media was immediate. On Sunday morning, the New York Times published an extensive article and emphasized that a multitude waited for hours to buy the biography of Bishop Macedo. The newspaper compared the line at the bookstore to Black Friday, when the greatest promotional sales of the year take place.
This book, Adriana, contains the secret to success, with tears, with pain, injustice. But the author of the book, Bishop Macedo, overcame all of these because of the experience he had with God.
From New York's winter to the summer in Rio de Janeiro, where this Saturday was also historic, as described by reporter Annalise Camargo.
The greatest sale record among all the 39 events realized until now throughout the whole world. A quantity never before registered during a single book release in Brazil and abroad. The number of the most recent record brings all. 178,962 copies were sold in a single release. A multitude difficult to count. There were so many people that the signing of the books took place from morning until the end of night at this commercial center in the northern part of Rio de Janeiro. It was also in this area of town that the religious work founded by Bishop Macedo began. And the earliest faithful congregants of the Universal Church were remembered in a special moment during the event. Many were touched by the recognition.
This only brings me joy, and I have no words to describe.
Not even the strong heat could take away the disposition of those who made sure to take home the signed book. And this is only part of the crowd. The line that began at the shopping mall occupied an entire block. Those who got a spot in the beginning of the line arrived 15 hours prior to the event. Such is the crowd on these streets that we cannot even see everyone. We are 2 blocks from the shopping mall, and this is the end of the line. These are the last people to arrive at this moment, because as time passes, more people keep coming. Are you ready to wait through this long line?
Absolutely. It is worthwhile to appreciate his work.
We arrived at the entrance of the shopping mall. And take a look, the line is still quite long ahead of us. Sometime later, look whom we found here. Do you remember Giselle, who was at the end of the line?
Almost 2 hours in line or more, but I made it, and it was worth it.
This brings satisfaction, it brings joy, and it demonstrates the credibility of Bishop Macedo, the credibility of the work of the Universal Church.
You can find media coverage and exclusive videos of the book launches that took place in Rio de Janeiro and New York on the official website of the book, nothingtolose.org. The book heads now to the last releases in Paris, London, and 3 more countries in Asia, including China.